Thank you so much for joining us, Ms. Vaeza.
Thank you for having me.
What would you say are the issues of greatest concern for women and girls right now around the world, and especially in your region, Latin America and the Caribbean?
I would say violence against women is still very prevalent. We have 4,000 women being killed every year just for the sake of being a woman. 11 women a day in Mexico, 9 women a day in Brazil. And this prevalence is about to really become worse, I would say, because there is a lot of pushback on gender equality and women's rights. And the second most important, in our region, only 52% of women work. And this is very, very low if you take into consideration European countries, for example, that 80% of women work. So the success of the developed economies is in reality the insertion of women in the economy, the insertion of women in the labor market. And we still have 180 million women that work in informal sector. We need to establish more economic autonomy for women. We need to ensure that women have decent work. And for me, there is a third one that is a priority for the regional office, which is the establishment of systems of care, public, private, community-led systems of care to generate an economy of care. Population is getting old, couples are not having children. So that is a real problem. And particularly the aging of the population is very fast. So there is a need for caregivers.
Here at the UN, right now, of the 133 heads of state or government scheduled to speak at UNGA 79, only 9 were women. So given today's level of education, the opportunities, women making strides in the workplace, they're still poorly represented when it comes to high levels of politics. How can we get more women into those positions of power?
I don't think it's happening right now, but I think we are establishing the basis for this to happen. We say, and you women, that we need more, 130 years more to reach to parity. But I think we need legislation. It is very important. And I put you the example of Mexico. Mexico had a legislation 6 years ago deciding parity in everything, in executive power, legislative power, judiciary, but also in governors, in mayors, etc. It took them 6 years to really get there. And the 1st of October, we will have the first women president in Mexico. At the same time, it's a country with 11 women a day being killed for the sake of being a woman. So there are contradictions, but they are pushing a role model that a woman can become president. We have to work on social norms. We have to work with political parties. I have hope that we will accelerate that in different countries. And I have hope that having a Mexican women president will create this role model that we need. And we need a Secretary General woman. The next Secretary General of the UN has to be a woman. We had only men. And also, if you think about the other organs of the UN, the General Assembly, we only have 4 women presidents of the General Assembly in 80 years. And those are decisions of the member states that we have to change. And I'm very happy to see that the Pact of the Future has a provision saying that the next Secretary General should be a woman.
How would you rate your region when it comes to access to education, to salaries, to equal opportunities? Do you see any improvements in those areas?
Yes, I do see. In education, lots of improvements. Unfortunately, the pandemic took us a little bit backwards, and also in the participation in the economy, but we are trying to catch up. Unfortunately, the economic growth is not there yet, and the advancement in productivity is not there. So we need to work on that, and we need to work in the technological revolution. In technology, you have only 3% of women are in the head of the technological companies, and only 22% of women work in technology. We need gender-sensitive policies to allow women to be part of this technological revolution, right? And we need as well to ensure that women can work in every industry.
Ms. Maria-Noel Vaeza, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to meet you.